Hey, this is Smitty coming to you live from the Smitty Dome, and this is our first episode of a Champion's Perspective, hosted by yours truly, Smitty. Special guest here today, none other than Adam Davis, our commissioner. Adam, how you doing?
What up, fellas?
Good to have you here, Adam.
Good to be here, buddy.
Today's broadcast brought to you by, we need some sponsors. So, Adam, good to have you here. I kind of wanted to dive into what you thought about last year's divisions and the certain guys in those divisions, how well they did, how poor they did. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring up the divisions on our screen and, let's take a crack at them. All right, first one popping up here, Adam, just happens to be our division of last year.
Yeah, Smitty once again will, takes that division by a couple games. Smitty and I have been in the same division for the past few years, and anytime that you have Smitty in your division, you've got to beat him twice, and that can be hard to do sometimes. So, Mr. Shag's a Lottopus, great name, Mr. Al Scully. Always a comedian. Surprisingly good year. I think he had a pretty good draft, but once again, running into that buzzsaw Smitty every couple weeks hurts.
Oh boy, I do appreciate the praise. Was this Scully's first year in our league, Adam?
I think it was his second year, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, second.
Yeah, so two strong years out of Scully. To begin his fantasy career. I don't think he's ever played fantasy before last year. So,
yeah, I agree.
Pretty good job.
I think his wife may have turned him on to it, and I think his first year she drafted his team.
Yeah, Denise. Yeah, good job, Denise.
Yeah, good job, Denise.
Way to teach Scully how to run a fucking team.
We got.
Moving on from the good to the bad. 21 JJ Watts, boy. Another surprising year after I think that's Meister's team, is it not?
Yep, that's Rounds, all right.
Yeah. He had a pretty weak division overall, with Shoals and Tribe Time and Buckeye Fever. I don't remember who those two guys were.
It was Holbrook with Tribe Time and Buffer with Buckeye Fever being last in 2015. We got to name his team.
That's right. That is right. Okay, yeah, my bad. I'm prepared about that one. Good old Buckeye Fever, 5-8. Him and myself and Holbrook all shared that 5-8 record this year. So
that's a good point.
But they didn't have an answer for Meister, so easily took that division, won it by a total of 3 games over Shoals.
Yeah, I think Ben picked Le'Veon Bell first overall last year, and he had 3 games out. I mean, what a big difference not winning your first 3 games makes.
Yeah, Ben had a pretty good draft as we were looking it over, and I think he's finally realized that you can't show up on draft night and just expect to draft good. I think he's been doing his homework. Talked to him the other night, so he's already been looking at stuff. So we're still a few weeks out. Good to know that Betty Scholes will come prepared.
Good to hear. Maybe we can get him into the trade booth and make some trades this year, huh?
Right. Yeah, going to need to pay attention to the trades this year, Betty.
All right, let's move on down to the ugly division, Adam.
Oh boy, the ugly. Well, the ugly was definitely ugly when you look at Lamb's record.
My gosh,
2-11. I think the only team he was better than was the Browns. I mean, the Browns only had the 1 win last year, and boy, did he barely beat them with to 2. So Cole Marshall, 9-4. I think he had a pretty overall good year. Mac is always tough, always was right in the mix of things, and it was right there for a couple weeks, and I think Cole finally later in the half of the year definitely pulled away a little bit.
Something happened on Max. Mac was doing really well for a long time. He had a lot of wins in a row. just to get back to Cole, let's not forget who made his first round pick this year or last year, and then we'll also be doing it this year. You know who's making his first round picks, Adam?
Who's he making his first round pick?
Amanda last year picked up David Johnson for him. Gave him this great 9-4 record, so he figures let's go with what's working. So Amanda make that first round pick again.
Easier choice when you're that high in the draft, but with Cole picking 9 this year after trading away the 12th pick to myself.
Oh, yeah.
He's in a tough spot at 9, and especially drafted around you and TK, and he's going to be in a tough spot at 9. So we'll see what Amanda picks, I guess, and see how that all pans out for old Cole Marshall.
Yep. So right behind Mac Chase was Billy Kovac. His first time in the league this year. Looked like he had a pretty good draft.
Yeah,
his division.
He drafted a lot of running backs, which is something a lot of people do, and he got lucky on a few. And here's another guy though that I think has been approached a few times with some trades and is a little silent on the trade activities. So
it's funny you say that. Boy, did he have a tight grip on Julio Jones. Just didn't want to move him.
Yeah, well, it's hard to move on Julio. It's a lot of value there. Julio is always a pretty solid receiver, healthy. Doesn't get hurt a lot. They had a good year, so yeah. Unless you came packing something big for Julio, I think I probably would have told you to get bent too, Smitty.
Well, and maybe I think I had a little something where I was missing Julio because the first year I won the championship, I believe 2013, Puffer ended up trading me Julio Jones, and the rest is all in the history books there with that first championship.
Yeah, that was a big year for you.
Big year.
I want to announce too a little bit of details about the draft party. We're still we're going to be doing it online this year. This is something new for us, so be prepared. Bring a laptop, bring a charger, bring all your study material as well.
Be on time, right?
Right, yep, right. There's a time limit. I want to say that it's around the 2-minute mark, maybe 90 seconds, something like that. We're going to move it along quickly. Ron Meister has graciously opened his doors to all of us hooligans. So we're going to get together at Meister's house this year. I'll send out a detailed text to the group with an address, or Meister will. We're going to start the draft promptly at 4 p.m. This is scheduled on the ESPN app. You can see that when you open the app on your phone or you visit from the laptop. It's right there on the home page, 4 o'clock online draft. Same format. We did have a couple rule changes that we're going to want to review, make sure that everybody's still aware of. There's a couple things new this year. We'll review those prior to the draft starting, so everybody's on the same page. If you can make it, that'd be great. If you can't, we understand. That's why we're doing it online this year. So getting with the times, I guess.
Now, also, Davis, one of the things about being an online draft is we're trying to be flexible, for everybody being in a different area. If you can't make it, and you can run this from your phone. You don't have to be on a laptop. We've done it in Yahoo drafts in the past.
Sure.
I'll let you know there won't be an auto draft. If you decide to get shit-faced and you're not going to show up, well, we're going to have somebody who's a like-minded football individual, and a draft will be made for you.
That's a good point, Smitty. Yeah, you do need to pick your team. This is not a computerized auto pick kind of league, so you definitely want to make sure that you make a couple hours of time out of your busy schedules to be there on Sunday. It's September 3rd at 4 p.m. at Meister's house or on the ESPN.com website.
Absolutely. Adam, I want to thank you for joining me today at the Smitty Dome. You gave out a lot of good info for all the divisions, for all the people. I hope to have you back soon. Yeah,
man. Thanks for having me, Smitty. This is it's a pretty cool app, and I like how it's all conducted. So props on the play calls behind you. Is that indicative of any player? Looks like a run call to the left. Is that a sign that you're going to be drafting a running back in the first?
The top play, we got a couple posts going on there, and bottom play, we got that 38 run, something or other, and no, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I should have had a tight end in there going out and pass. Got to get Gronk in that first pick. So you don't get the chance. But hey, we'll be talking about this year's draft. In the next coming episode. I don't want to ruin anything.
It's a little teaser there. More to come.
Little teaser. All right, Adam. Have a great night. Go Tribe, huh?
You too, Smitty. Have a good night. Go Tribe.